All right, so it is the second session of SMP today, and as you guys can see, my hair is grown in. This is about 2 weeks worth. You can see where the hair starts and stops, and you can see where the SMP is as well. And everything is looking good. Looks like it healed pretty well. It stayed in place for where it needed to, and now it's going to be fun to see that kind of buildup of density and really start to see some more change. I'm going to finally now trim it today and go into the second session with pretty much a nice shaved bald head. Now, as you guys can see, it is kind of hard to make out which is which in terms of what is the hair follicles and what is actually the SMP. And that is the whole point of this, is just try to mimic it. And looking in the mirror, you know, it's kind of hard to tell, especially when you're from far away too. So it's only when you get really up close and you really start to feel the area where things are smooth and then things have a little bit of kind of hair grip to it. That's when you'll be able to tell. But so far, everything's looking really good. I'm excited to go to session number 2 and really start to densify things and really start to really, you know, see a little bit of a difference. I really feel like the second session is where we're going to see a lot more things come together, where the first one, you know, you kind of look at me still and you're like, oh, that guy's bald. Whereas, you know, second session, you might start to see a little bit more fullness, especially in the front of the hair where I really want it most. All right, so there are 2 questions that I was getting asked the most in my last video, where I showed you guys that I am tattooing my head, but doing it in a different type of style than what I normally would do in terms of getting more kind of elaborate designs, and that is doing SMP. The first question I got asked a lot was, why don't I just go to Turkey and get a hair transplant? And the second question was, why don't I just go ahead, skip the SMP and just go ahead and tattoo my head in a full out design? I also know a lot of people were a little disappointed when they saw me doing the SMP instead of getting a real design. Now, let's talk about the hair transplant for a second. And the first reason why I am not choosing that is because I feel, first off, more than anything, SMP is the good first choice to go about doing. I can go ahead and do all of these other things in terms of a hair transplant, in terms of doing a real full out tattoo design, even after I've gotten the SMP done. Now, the next reason is, one, I don't have enough vacation time for my real job to go ahead and go to Turkey and then go and spend all the time in terms of getting the operation and then recovering from it. I work construction, so I'm wearing a hard hat a lot of my time when I'm on shift, so I can't wear that. So I'd have to take a lot of time off for to at least heal appropriately, because I'm not going to spend all this money and time to go ahead and do it the right way in terms of getting a hair transplant and then kind of skip out on the aftercare. Aftercare is very important. I've learned that from tattoos, and it also in surgery too. I've had a lot of surgeries in my lifetime as well. So I don't have the time to allocate to that, because again, I want to go to France, still get my tattoo by Sandry. I obviously want to go on vacation with my girlfriend because I just want to enjoy life a little bit and see what else is out there. So that is the first big reason why. The next reason is I don't want to be on minoxidil, finasteride for the rest of my life to kind of keep what I have, because you will still continue to lose hair after a hair transplant. You'll have it in the certain areas that you got it transplanted, but other areas will still kind of lose the hair. And knowing from my family's history, they go bald. So I know for myself, I'm not going to probably be just as lucky, and I'll probably lose all my hair as well. So I'll have little pieces where there's still hair from the operations, but then I'll have to go back and get more and more, and there's only a limited amount that you can graft from the back of your head and other areas before you have to say that is it. So I don't know if that is something that I am willing to take on and do. And again, SMP is just a good first option to go about doing, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper than going to Turkey, getting the operation done, I would say. So those are the big main things on why I don't want to go ahead and do that hair transplant option that you guys have been saying so much just yet. Now, the head design in terms of a crazy tattoo, I still want to do that eventually. I still haven't figured out an idea or design just yet. So I am pushing that idea off until I find something that where I'm like, you know what, I feel very comfortable doing that, just because again, this is now in an area that you will see a lot more, and I just want to be very certain on that design. And if say, I know some people are going to be like, oh well, it's going to be a little bit darker, it might ruin the tattoo design, and I really don't think so. It might add a tone or two there, but if anything, I can always laser this off. It is very simple because it's so superficial and it's easy to kind of break down. I've already talked to Rachel, my laser technician, and she said maybe 2 to 3 sessions and it would be honestly all gone. So again, this seems like, again, the first right choice to go about doing, because everything else that I can do and you guys have been saying, I can still do. Also, if you have a question, please go ahead and write it in the comment section, because I want to be as transparent as possible with this with you guys. So if you guys are wondering something, or maybe you want to ask James something, I can answer it, or maybe James can answer it as well. So go ahead, write that in the comment section, and yeah, let's get to it. Now you're really starting to see that density come in. You just gotta do this spot right here, but so far it's looking good. It's looking really good, man.
Think so?
Oh yeah. I can really start to see the difference now in terms of the
contrast.
Yeah, pretty much. The hairline and then the forehead. So yeah, that looks awesome. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, wow. You can see that in the video too. Woo, that's good. Thanks, man.
Want to take a look over here?
Yeah, we'll take a look here too. All right, here. Now you can get a little bit better of a shot of it. And as you see there, finally got a hairline again. And it's thanks to this guy right here. There we go. Give him a thumbs up. All right, second session is done, and as you guys can see, bang, look at that. Oh my God, that looks great. We added a lot more density into this, and nothing more to say, just look at that. All right, so as you guys can see, that is a fresh shave, and it has been about a week and a little bit, so I was finally able, I got to go ahead from James to shave my head, and I have a hairline now. Now, we still got to do one more session, and even then we can always do a little bit more to go ahead and just really perfect things. But I absolutely love how this looks. I'm looking into kind of the camera monitor right now, and I didn't have this before we started, so this is definitely a look that I am very much used to now, and I enjoy. And again, as you can see, it's bald, but from far away and from certain angles, it definitely looks like I do have much more of a hairline now. And when you really zoom into it, you can barely tell that it is tattoo little follicles. I actually fooled a lot of family members. A lot of them didn't see me. And then we recently just had Thanksgiving. A lot of them saw me. They're like, holy shit, Justin, you went bald. And then I'm like, yeah, but like, this is mostly just tattoo. And they're like, what? And then they came up, looked, and they really still even couldn't really tell a difference. So, I mean, so far, I'm excited to see the final results, because the second session really took things to a whole new level, and I'm sure the third session will just be that extra like cherry on top of the whole cake. But yeah, not too bad.